level 1, which is basically drawing the blueprint. Within drawing the blueprint, what's important for us is to think of how can we be most effective with our lives? How can we make most progress every day, every week, every month, every year? And the way to do that is by following fundamental principles. Someone that my co-author Aaron and I really like is Stephen R. Covey. He has an amazing book on productivity, which we recommend everyone read. All of the principles he explained are explained in this book as well, and probably in this video. However, we are in a place here where you can get so much information from so many different people and you never know what resonates with you. So that's why we recommend constant and never-ending improvement. So you're looking at this video, you're implementing everything, then you can pick up Stephen R. Covey's video for extra, insights and aha moments around productivity, etc., etc. And we're going to make a few mentions of a few other books. However, from Stephen R. Covey, the only one thing I want to mention here is one of the principles of effectiveness is beginning with the end in mind. Too many people start off by thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead. The master chess players of the world see the entire game played out in front of their eyes. Everything I can do, everything you can do. I make a move, you make a move. I already know what the next 10 steps are. And so there are amazing books on this as well. However, basically, the concept of beginning with the end in mind takes us to the point that we want to make here in this first level, in level 1, which is to have a crystal clear perspective on a very compelling vision wherever you want to go, right? So within this compelling vision, we look at every single thing that matters for you. So you go into the future, and within that future, you describe one thing or one day in the future and in the present tense. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But basically, that will be your vision. That will be, hey, it's 2030, right? Or 2035, right? X years in the future. This is how my business operates. This is how many clients we have. This is the impact we're leaving. This is how much money we're making. This is how I'm conducting my life. This is how my day is, blah, 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 blah. Every single thing, the exact way you can explain it. And you can go very granular with this. So before I go too much into detail, let's go into the principles of what you need to understand in order for you to create an amazing vision. So number 1, the first principle is that you cannot be all things to all people. Okay? And you might already know this to some extent. However, there are people, for example, like myself, that have struggled with this so much, because my co-author Aaron jokes about this all the time, because I used to be the perpetual helper, and I still help everyone in my team, and I still help everyone with advice or guidance or anything I can do. However, I used to be the person that when someone had an issue, they would come to me and I would help them with that. The issue with that is that you become the ultimate bottleneck for everything. Your team isn't really empowered if you need to be there to help them. You feel good and they feel good. Everyone feels good when you're helping them. They feel good because they get help, they get support, and so on and so forth. You feel good because you have value in the business. You're literally helping them do their work and get good results and so on and so forth. However, this feeling of goodness isn't scalable. Because the moment you have 50 employees, not 5, you cannot help all 50 of them. And the moment you have 50 clients, not 5, you can't help all 50 of them. The moment you have 4 children, not 1 or not 0, you can't help your clients and your team players and your children. Okay? So it's not scalable. Helping in this way isn't scalable. So you can't be all things to all people. So there are a few things I would like you to decide on today. And if any of these isn't clear to you, please understand that if you can't decide on these things, you will never become unshackled the way we explained in the book, because you're literally still shackled in your mental patterns. So number 1 is you need to decide that you cannot do everything. You cannot do the marketing and the sales and the product delivery and the customer support and everything. You can't do everything. If you're a solopreneur and you want to stay a solopreneur forever, then you can probably do everything. And again, you don't need scale. Everything else in the book applies in terms of taking full responsibility and so on and so forth. However, The systems of scale you don't care about because you want to be a solopreneur for the rest of your life. So I doubt that is the case. However, typically what happens is you work within a team. And so even if you're a solopreneur working for multiple clients, or you're an intrapreneur, like someone within a company that wants to keep doing good, right? Like a great engineer or a talented marketer or whatever, you still want the team to work in a cohesive manner. So the team should either read the book or at least follow the principles within it. So you can't do everything. And that's it. Be at peace with that. Because the moment you become at peace with the fact that you can't do everything, you can let go. And you can breathe deeply and you can say, okay, you know what? I can't do video editing and filming and marketing and sales and networking and everything. So what can I do and what do I do well? I do networking well because I'm very honest, because I tend to be very calculated with what I say and what I do and so on and so forth. So I tend to do networking well. I will leave video editing to the experts. I will leave filming to the experts. I'll leave everything else to the experts because I can't do everything in life, right? There's just so much time in the day. Number two is you can't take on every cool opportunity. So once you commit to something, let's say you commit to a project, to doing that project, and for everyone that I work with, I say, you know what? I know you and I can work together for 10 years, 20 years. We can work together forever until we retire. However, let's set a deadline for every single project we work on, and let's measure the success or failure of that project, and then let's reconvene. Because this allows us to get a refresher on our relationship. This allows us to remind ourselves, why are we in this relationship? Why are we working together? So you can't take on every cool project. Once you take on one project, let's say you take on a project of PR, you want to be on 100 podcasts, right? So that's one opportunity to, promote yourself. Then you take on that one project, and if you have other cool marketing opportunities, like an event, like whatever, okay, decide, is this more important than this, or can it wait? Can I go to this event next year or next month or in 6 months, whatever? If you can, delay it and then do whatever you agreed now to do until you finish it, and then after that do something else and something else and something else. That's why I recommend small projects, like 3 to 6 month projects, because in 3 months you'll have different perspectives of what you can do, or 6 months, whatever. So you can't take on every cool opportunity. Just decide. There are too many opportunities. You can't do all of them. One thing at a time. Do that amazingly well. Once you're done with that one thing, then move on to the next thing. There's nothing to say that you can't build one thing and then set systems here and then let this run by itself and then start something else. Because that's what I've done successfully 11 times until now. I've built 11 businesses, profitable businesses. I've already sold 3 of them and I still have 8. And that's how I've done it. I've done one business. I made it self-sustainable. I let people manage it. Amazing, competent, talented, determined, humble people. And then I was coaching them. And whilst I was coaching them to run this, I was building something else. I was always 10 steps ahead, figuring out where is the industry going? What else do we need to do to stay relevant and to make more wealth? And then after that, you can't work with every single person and every single affiliate and every single partner and so on and so forth. So the first has to do with opportunities. The second has to do with people. Your time is limited. If I accept to work with one PR company, I'm basically saying no to every other PR company. Because I said, I'm working with this person or this team, I'm going to commit fully my time, my resources, everything to this. And that means I am effectively saying no to everything else because I've committed with this person or with these individuals. And that's it. So now I'm committed. When I'm committed, I go all in for the level of time predetermined in the agreement, right? And then after that, we say, hey, did this work or not? Did we get value out of this or not? If we didn't get enough value, then we can either change the terms or change the strategy and start over and do something else. Or we can say, hey, look, this isn't valuable enough for us. Let's move on, right? So basically from there, you just get to the final thing that is a little bit of a mental trigger. It's the fear of missing out. Many times we feel like we are in a place where, again, the grass is always greener. It's the, fantasy of ownership. It's, hey, I'm missing out on this business, or I'm missing out on this partnership, or I'm missing out on this event, right? You will always miss out. There's 99.9999999% of the world that you are always missing out on. If you accept every single opportunity, every single partnership, every single thing that ever crosses your path, number one, you won't be able to do everything. However, if you ever accept everything, you will still miss out on, statistically speaking, everything in the world. You'll be missing out on everything because whatever you're doing in the world is so small. Literally, it's so, if you come to terms with how small you are, even someone like, Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos, one of the reasons why they are so successful is because they stay humble and hungry, right? Jeff Bezos says it very clear. Every day is day one. That's one of the cultural things, and we're going to talk about culture in a second. Every single day is day one. We don't operate the business as if, it's already a $200 billion entity. We operate the business as if it's a startup. So if it's day one, what can we do to be better? Every single day we ask, what can we do to be better? What can we do, to improve either effectiveness or either, expand to a different country, or what can we do? So imagine even they are missing out on, let's say maybe right now they're in 50 countries. They're missing out on 100 countries because they're like 160 or 178 countries or something like that. So if Amazon, the largest or the second largest employer on the planet, is missing out on 2/3 of the countries in the world, you're probably missing out on almost everything, statistically speaking. So just stop fearing, missing out on things. Just do whatever you need to do and move on with your life. So now, this brings me very well to my next point, which is to decide what you truly want in life, right? And so I want you to just ask yourself some questions, right? In terms of what you truly want in life. The first question is, I want to ask you, what are you advancing towards? And so I'm thinking in terms of, and if I look in different directions, it's because I'm imagining things, right? So what are you advancing towards? Where do you want to go? Like, literally write down the answer to this question. What am I advancing towards? Well, I'm advancing towards, video production. I'm advancing towards, becoming a rocket scientist. I'm advancing towards, becoming a father of 3 children. What are you advancing towards? Like, if your life keeps going in the same direction of whatever it is you've set up so far, what is the general direction of your life? Write it down. Like you would have a diagram and you would have a trend line of your life, up, down, or whatever. What's the trend line of your life? What are you advancing towards? What are the specific things you're advancing towards? Number 2, what are you endeavoring to do? In terms of endeavoring to do, an endeavor is anything that I have an ambition to partake in. So basically, an endeavor is something like, I endeavor to have my master's degree in physics. That's an endeavor. So what are some of the endeavors? What are some of the exciting adventures you can go on, right? And so this is different than the first question, because advancing towards, again, it's like a trend line. And you explain where's the trend of your life, where are you going? Number 2 is, what am I endeavoring to do? Is like, what are all of the cool projects outside of this trend or within this trend? Like think of them like milestones that you want to do. What are all of the milestones that I want to accomplish, right? And then number 3, what are you even willing to imagine? And this is basically a little bit of a stroke of your ambition. What are you willing to imagine? For example, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was imagining so many things crazy. Like, I was imagining what now I know to be multi-trillion-dollar businesses, right? I was imagining space exploration and multi-planetary colonization and so on. Like, I was imagining all of those things. And now, just to think that just one rocket of SpaceX is valued, like, I don't know how much it costs, like hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm like, oh my God, I was really going out there. But play with me here. Like, what are you willing to imagine of what you want to do? And in terms of ambition, you don't need to be ambitious in terms of, like, colonizing another planet. You can be ambitious in terms of, I really love painting. And I want my paintings to put a smile on 100 million people's faces. That's ambition. You're like, what are you willing to imagine? That, your paintings are going to be in the Spanish Gala of whatever arts, or modern arts, or whatever it is that you do, right? So what are you willing to imagine? Imagine that. So the final thing I want to say, this is a side question. It has to do with your reasons. And is the project that I'm working on right now, or whatever it is, whatever the projects are that I'm working on right now, are they sufficient to get me to my dream or not? Right? This has to do with your reasons. Like, why are you doing what you're doing right now? Like, for example, are you in school? Is school helping you? And when I say school, I don't necessarily mean that you're in your 20s. You can be in a course, you can have your master's, your MBA, you can be in your PhD, you can be in, taking a seminar, you can, be sign up to events that you may or may not need to participate to, maybe you have better use of your time, etc. So whatever are you invested in right now, are those things sufficient to get you where you want to go? If yes, then basically keep doing those things until the end and keep adding more projects. If no, if something you're doing right now isn't getting you to where you're dreaming of, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to finish my commitment, whatever I committed to do, again, whether that's a course, that's a project with someone or whatever, so I keep my promises, but then I make it clear today to everyone involved that, hey, I'm going to keep doing this for 6 months, and then after that I want to do something else. So clarity, I believe, is every leader's secret weapon. People follow other people because they have a plan. They have it figured out. They have clarity on the vision. Okay? Whomever has clarity, the clearest vision, those are the people that get the most success out of life. Whenever you see someone that is failing in life, typically if you have a conversation with them, you ask them, what do you want to do in life? They say, I don't know. I don't know. They're like, okay, but what do you want to do with your career? Well, I'll see. I'll let, whatever, the winds blow me in whatever direction. You don't follow that person. No one goes to that person like, oh my God, I want to be like you. I want to also not have any clue of where I'm going in life. I want to also, be confused about the economy, about, society, about my business, about my industry. No, you are going to follow people that have a clear vision. So, and this is not about ego, by the way. This is not, I want to have a clear vision, so I will have followers. No, your number one follower should be yourself. You should be so excited to get up in the morning and follow your own dreams that nothing can stop you, right? And so you should be your biggest fan, your biggest follower. And the way to do that is to get clarity on the vision. If you get clarity on the vision, then you can be in a place where not only you can wake up every day excited and work, or do whatever you need to do, that you can rally other people to the same vision.